So today let's explore this intelligent color screen multimeter from FNIRSI, which basically does everything a modern multimeter should do. It has 10,000 counts, currents up to 10 amps, DC and AC voltages, DC and AC currents, resistances, capacitances, frequencies, temperatures, diodes, continuity test, NVC and live test, 240 by 320 pixel display and RMS. But now let's open it and see it. And the type is DMT99, and here is the manual for it, this label and the multimeter, and the USB cable and the probes. So let's open it and let's see it. Here's holders for the probes. Can stand like this, and the holes for the probes. Let's try to turn it on. You can choose Chinese or English, I guess. It's starting up, and now it's in the automatic mode, or you can choose amps or milliamps, AC or DC, or volts, DC, AC, ohms, capacitors, diodes or continuity test, and back to volts. This is the temperature, frequencies, I guess some NCB or live test. Here's automatic, and the hold function. Well, this mode is using this sensor here, and the other mode is probably using one probe. Nobody reads the manuals, of course. But let's show it if you want to read it. Here's the live measurement with just the red probe. Now some other languages already. It's in Chinese, English, Russian and whatever that is, Spanish or Portuguese, I guess. Live, neutral, live, neutral or ground. Then there's the temperature measurement, and then a frequency measurement. So let's try to measure the frequency of the minus 50 Hz, nice. Now let's try the voltages. This is DC, AC, so let's try AC, 230 volts, nice. A comparison to another meter, one more comparison here. I guess there's never enough of comparisons. And to test the DC voltages, LM431B reference. And testing the 10,000 counts, a voltage from a bench power supply. And now it should flip to the next range, which it does. Now some resistors, 4.7 ohms, 51 ohms, 470 ohms, 6.8 kilo ohms, 56 kilo ohms, 4.7 mega ohms. 20 such resistors in a series, 21. It really goes up to 99 mega ohms. A lot of multimeters go up to just 20 mega ohms. Now, of course, the capacitances. Let's begin with this big electrolytic capacitor, 4700 micro. And of course, it's slow to measure because it takes a lot of time to charge. And it's actually quite close. 6.8 micro. Also close, 100 nano. This should be faster. Another 100 nano, a different type. 1 nano. This is very close. 220 picofarads, 100 picofarads. Of course, measuring very low capacitances is always tricky. Now some diodes, the voltage drop of a big Schottky, a regular diode, base to emitter voltage drop of a transistor, a red LED, a pure green LED. Most multimeters in a diode test measure up to 2 volts. This one seems to go up to about 3 volts, so it can measure green and blue and probably even a white LEDs. Yes, it actually does test a white LED. 3.2 volts. two red LEDs in a series. It can go a bit above 3 volts, so it can measure white LEDs, which is quite useful. And the diode test actually doubles as a continuity test. For very low resistances, it beeps and it reads the resistance instead of a voltage drop. Of course, it has a hold function, which freezes the measurement, unfreezes, and a relative function. Let's try the milliamps, switching it to this receptacle. And the current limit of my bench power supply goes up to 350 milliamps, and that's actually quite impressive. And it also has a microamp resolution. A 9 volt battery via a 1 mega ohm resistor should pass about 9 microamps. And it shows 9 microamps. Can I use a different multimeter to measure its internal resistance in this mode? It's a bit over 1 ohm. I guess it's a 1 ohm internal shunt plus some resistance of the cables. Now AC milliamps. Nice. AC microamps. Now DC amps. Nice. And AC amps. This is a 2 kilowatt heater. Nice. That's the basic functions, and a long press of this button gets you into the menu. When you have various modes of operation, threshold settings, history record. Here you can change the appearance of it, I guess. And it looks different now. Reset, about, the version of it. Now let's switch it to recording. And I connected it to a bench power supply. And it's basically like a slow rolling oscilloscope, recording the changes of the voltage. Nice! This can also be quite useful. It changes the scale if the voltage goes over range. Not bad. Records the minimum and maximum. Let's try to connect a potentiometer. And it can do a similar thing, also with resistances apparently. So this was the recording mode, and now the regular. What does it do? It again measures the voltage, or the value, and the threshold. I guess I have to set something here. Let's set from 5 to 10 volts. And now it basically indicates it's outside of the range. It's above 10 volts. Now it's in the range. And now it's below the range. And it seems to be able to do the same with currents and temperatures. But now, of course, let's see the internals of it. It has several screws, about 4. And it opens. Here is the battery in it, 1500 milliamp hours. And the board, the receptacles here. Here is the high current shunt, 2 fuses, some protection PTC thermistor, a relay, some chips, some tiny resistors and capacitors, small transistors, tantalum capacitors, another chip, a crystal, I guess some regulator, some diodes, transistors, capacitors and resistors again, the beeper, the USB port, probably some charging controller, and this connection going to the display, and the battery connection here. Here's the charging USB-C port, and some hidden button behind the tiny hole, which I guess is a reset button. Let's press it. It got a reset or turned off. And the fuses seem to be fast 10 amps and a fast 1 amp. And it's using a 10 milliohm shunt for the 10 amp range. And for the milliamps it adds 0.99 ohms, this resistor in series to make 1 ohm. And these 5 resistors in series are, I guess, for the high voltages. But now let's take a look under the board. Another 2 screws. And that's it. Not really much to see here. The display, the buttons with the pads, the receptacles, no components here other than a couple capacitors and several diodes, probably protecting the current meter from overcurrent using their voltage drop. If the current is too high and thus the voltage drop of the current sensing shunt is too high, these diodes start conducting and limiting. Here is the current meter input section with the diode protection, the sensing shunt, the fuses, and the diode is limiting the voltage to the analog to digital converter to 2 voltage drops of a diode in each direction. Not sure what's the point of this diode. If it was like this, it would be limiting to 3 voltage drops of a diode in each direction, but the diodes are actually this way. And this would be a bridge rectifier with a diode as the output basically. But anyway, let's measure the voltage on the battery. Let's try to charge it. And this is actually a very good point. Do not use while charging. If you need to use, please unplug the charger. Of course, because the charging input is not isolated from the probes. Charging at about 600 milliamps. The power button turns green when it's fully charged. And let's measure the capacity of the battery. At 300 milliamps discharge, which is 0.2 C, down to 3 volts. And it's discharging. Now the battery is discharged and the energy in the battery was 5.913 watt-hours. And the capacity was 1.613 amp-hours or 1613 milliamp-hours. And both numbers are actually better than the 1500 milliamp-hour and 5.55 watt-hour rating of the battery. Now of course this indicator is showing almost empty. So let's charge it. Now it's charging at 800 milliamps. The power button illuminates red when it's charging, and now it actually allows me to use it when it's charging for some reason. So that's this interesting multimeter from FNIRSI, and there will be a link in the description. And if you like my videos, please consider supporting this channel on Patreon using the thanks button and subscribing. And big thanks to all of you who already support me.